Call the meeting to order if we could, please. Let's start the evening with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, good evening. Long week. It was a long day today, but a lot of good work was done, and once again, I'm proud to say that the people who work here at Town Hall are doing an excellent job with a lot of shortcomings that are plaguing us, like when we still do not have a building inspector. We're still missing a secretary to the bookkeeper assistant, and we've had a few people out with COVID that have returned. So it's been a very trying couple of weeks, and this week was the toughest, but we pulled through it. So without any further ado, let's go right to our first part of the meeting, which we have all correspondence, all official correspondence on file at the town clerk's office. Our oral comments tonight will be our county legislators who are not going to be present. They had some other business, one being out of town and one being at a prior engagement. And that brings us to the first thing we're going to do is the bicentennial report, the final report of the bicentennial committee. And I'd like to bring Mr. Dave Kruger to the microphone.
Good evening. Are we on?
It's good. Yeah, give it a second.
I have some hard copies I can hand out to the board, and I think, there it is, beautiful, thank you. Oh, you may need to move that, I'm not sure. There you go.
I'm looking at it.
Oh, you got it? Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, sir.
Some of
Thank
these
you.
were printed, so they flip on both sides. and just one or two. All right. So, can you hear me? Okay, I'm here tonight to tell a very positive story, which I think after last year we could all use. So the Pleasant Valley Bicentennial Days Committee met starting in May. We had a group of 20 or so volunteers who worked in a committee structure to handle the various tasks we worked on it. We divided this up into entertainment, fundraising, logistics, parade, publicity, Quiet Cove, and vendors. The event took place, as it says, 17th to 19th of September, and several of the committees were significantly more successful than we were able to do in the past, partly because of their hard work and mostly because of the community's overwhelming support for the bicentennial event. People were very excited to contribute and help out with that. Because we had a very nice budget and we had lots of good support, we were able to entertain lots of new ideas. We tried lots of things that had never been done before. And that's the positive side. The negative side, we had all kinds of disruptions. Johnny Dell was kind enough to advise us, given the fact that he had run the event in previous years. We had COVID, of course. We had a flood at Katie Field. We had a ride vendor whose machines tore a power line out as he brought them onto the field. His machines arrived early, and we had to redo a bunch of certificates for that event. There was a death at Arlington High School, as you recall, which prevented the Arlington High School marching band from marching in our parade. Otherwise, we would have had them as well. So we found out, unfortunately, at the last minute, that the generator for the ride company had failed. They blamed the fuel we got. We tested the fuel. It was fine. But the Sunday morning of the parade, I was running around trying to find the only 2 filters in Dutchess County that would filter the fuel for this generator. So lots of last-minute headaches, surprises. We had some great support for last minute from Jeff Daly, Daily Oil, Don Veith from Veith Electric, Larry Peckham, who is a diesel mechanic at Peckham Materials, despite all these challenges, the event was very well received by a community, I think, that was hungry to celebrate and do something positive for the event. Okay, Frank? So what did we try that was new? Go ahead. So we had an expanded media coverage. For the first time, we had radio ads, we had billboards, we had extensive newspaper ads and articles, and we tried to do the most we could with social media. We had our own Facebook page, and we had a separate webpage for the event. That tracked things like who's in the parade, what vendors have signed up, what's the agenda going to look like, what's the schedule of events. So we tried to make that as public as possible. In the past, the previous people have run this for better or worse, or for whatever reason. If something happened to them, we used to say if they get hit by a bus, now we say if they win the lottery and disappear. Most of what was going on would have disappeared. So I tried to make sure that people were well aware. I think I sent a spreadsheet out about 50 separate items we were working on to the committee, so if anything happened, people would know the status and people would know what to do next. We had Quiet Cove, whole separate page on that, we'll get to that. Whole new idea of doing a special area of the event for people who are sensitive to excessive noise or lights, who may have younger children, or may have some kind of PTSD or some kind of issue. That was an idea of Terry McCormick on our committee, who works with people like that, and it went over very well. Whole new idea. We weren't sure at all how that was going to work. We had parade entertainment. If you remember, Wrinkle the Duck was also in the New York City Marathon a few weeks later. But we had the Scarecrow, Stilt Walker, jugglers, bagpipers. And I think people in the parade really appreciated having a little variety instead of watching so-and-so drive by. We had a very nice reviewing stand that Carolyn Dolphy and Dana Raina Montgomery put together. We had a very nice plaque that I know our supervisor is looking to have put up on the stone monument in front of Town Hall so we can commemorate our 200th anniversary. The first annual Jack Haverty Classic Car Show. There'd been car shows before. This was dedicated to Jack Haverty. That pulled in a lot of positive people, and members of the Pleasant Valley Rotary were helping with that. Mary Meyer here ran our cornhole tournament. You could sign up online. We had good prizes. We had good participation. We had about 4 separate cornhole tournaments going at the same time, or sets of cornhole beanbag toss events. Peckham left one of their loaders from the parade on Sunday, and it became a touch-a-truck event. And the kids were climbing all over the darn thing. They had a great time with that. So that's something we might want to consider expanding. And for the first time that I know of, we had merchandise. We had keychains. We had a great logo designed by Gary Veeder. Mary Meyer helped us with the T-shirts, hats, and string bags. They were for sale at the event. We might even have a few laying around, too. They've become collector's items. I know they're going for hundreds of dollars each on eBay. So next, lots of new stuff. Quiet Cove, whole new idea, and we had a very nice receptive area of Dutchess County government, the Think Differently area, something that Mark Molinaro has advocated for. Don Sagliano brought this to our attention. We applied, and we got a $6,000 grant that paid for almost all the costs associated with Quiet Cove. We used part of the park that had never been used before. We put in a family tent, musicians, balloon art, the petting zoo, pony rides, the family area tent. Bubble Bus was a big hit. That was recommended by the people at the county. And we kept them close to the acoustic musicians in the Rotary Beer Tent. So we finally got all the proceeds, and I'm happy to say all the money from the Dutchess County Think Differently grant is in our bank account. So, amen. Thank you. Financials, just a quick look here. We could dig through tons of detail in the background if you really want to see it, but basically we started with $9,584.84. We deposited $27,188. We had spent $28,885, leaves us with a balance of $787.65 for the next event. So this was a pricey event, but we think we invested well. And if you really want to get into the nuts and bolts and the backup charts, there are all the details of what the major topics were spent on. So, and I'm sorry, you can back up one just for a second. That's fine. We tried to use this just to keep an estimate of where we thought we were, just as we go ahead, so we didn't get in too much trouble financially. So toward the end, we thought we'd clear about 2,600. We ended up clearing 7,887. We had more donations than we thought, and we had some stuff that we thought we'd have to pay for got donated. So, okay, next, please. Again, if you want to look at donations, the left-hand column, these are the in-kind donations we received. I apologize for the colors. These were the waves of announcements we put on the website, different waves of different colors. So we got an extremely generous donation from Peckham Materials. They were our premier entertainment sponsor, but a whole bunch of other groups. Polonia Park lent us 20 picnic tables that we would have had to either rent or borrow or buy. Matt's Auto Body transported the picnic tables for us and picked them up and took them back. Arnoff brought in a storage container, another new idea we used for the bicycle riders. So when they showed up after their bike ride, they didn't have to carry their bike around the whole park. They could leave it in a safe place, and then we used that storage container for overnight storage for anybody who had something in a tent or in an event that they, at the park that they didn't want to leave overnight. So we locked it up overnight and kept that safe. I know there were some other smaller donations. I remember Frank did the plaques, the banners for the town sign out front and for the parade reviewing stand, I believe, and also the big ones for the park, so thank you. Anyway, so those were the major donations. Those totaled about $20,000. So pretty damn impressive. Again, the community was excited about this event. Go ahead, sir. Community feedback. Here are some feedback and comments that came into their event from different vendors, from people on the committee. Some of Gary's here tonight. We had various people who said, you know, we were really excited. We weren't sure how this would work out. They know some of the stuff we went through to get this to work. Believe me, till the last few minutes, we weren't sure if the ride vendor was going to work out. We weren't sure about the generator. We were worried about the field with the flood, et cetera. So I included some positive comments on this page and on the next page of how the committee did, how the, the best thing about this committee was, the most common phrase I heard was, I'm done with this, what else can I do to help? There was no politics, there was no backbiting, no fighting at all. It was fantastic. And we had so much freedom to try new ideas. Not all of them worked out. We were going to try to do a tour, a veterans tour of some of the better historical museum or graveyards around, but that did not work out. We couldn't find a good bus. But anyway, we were very happy with the collaboration and the positive spirit among the committee, and a bunch of them are asking what else we're going to do next. So, okay, thank you. Next, what else we got? We're getting close to the end. Okay. Not everything went perfectly, of course. We would have loved to have more food vendors. We tried 20 additional food vendors. They didn't have the staff or the equipment. They couldn't do their food. They were booked. So that is one weakness we know. We would like to have had a bigger variety of food. The amusement ride company was very disappointing. They gave us lots of grief. We ended up settling financially okay, but we could do better. So we're going to try to find another ride company. This was the only guy we could find. 12 companies had gone out of business between Long Island and Albany, so we were very limited. This is like the only guy we could get. However, in the future, we may try to try something other than mechanical rides, maybe more bouncy houses, more obstacle courses, more slides, more, mechanical bowls or something. And let's say we've already tried to reach out to another ride vendor. We'll see if we ever hear from them. That's pretty much it. I don't know, Frank, if people have questions, there's some backup charts with details and such.
You can put the rest of this on the website if anyone wants.
Fantastic. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you very much for displaying that. I wanted people to be able to see what we were doing. So,
Dave, I just want to add, I want to thank you and the committee with all I used to call them grenades at your feet. There was 1 million grenades at your feet as that thing went. Everything from the unfortunate child situation in Arlington and to the flood. A lot of people don't realize, but that flood happened 2 weeks before this event. We weren't sure if that field was going to even dry out. To keep the composure that you and your staff did in that committee was exemplary, and I commend you for it.
Thank you
I don't think anyone else could have. I know I would have pulled my hair out and quit.
shorter trip for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Really quick, I just
Yes.
want to say thank you as well. But is there anything, in your opinion, if there's one thing the town could do better to support the committee, is there anything that pops into your head that we could do that would make this a better event year after year and get more people there? And
Well, we benefited tremendously because of the expanded budget that we got this year, because as my understanding is the 10,000 from last year wasn't spent, and we had 20,000 to work with for the fireworks, for the tents, and for security. And we spent, I think, every penny of it. I believe that may be the situation this year. The only other thing that came up is there were some, quite a few last-minute requests for updates and changes for the insurance certificates. And I would really love if the insurance certificates came in and got really strong scrutiny up front. We had to go back to some of our vendors and some of our people last few days, and ask for changes to certificates. That was painful. So that would be one thing, Mike, that I would really like to suggest. If the insurance certificates arrive early, they could be scrutinized, and any adjustments that need to be made done early instead of later. Because we came close to not having fireworks, came close to not having a ride vendor. So we did do an extra effort to beef up security for the Lions bike ride and for the parade. We had extra officers around for any situation. And for the first time, the officers were aware of the Lions bike ride route, because they had never really formally seen the route, and of our parade route. Bill Geerlings did a phenomenal job of lining up the cars. We had marked out the locations on North Ave earlier, the day before. Bill did a great job marshaling the parade. I had to do the MC job because no one else could do it, unfortunately. And I was the cheapest alternative. But Bill, otherwise, he stepped up again. Everybody stepped up when there was something we needed, so.
I think I can add, Michael, I think at this point, because this committee has now comes to a conclusion, they're done. So what would really help, now, if you remember what Dave said in the beginning, this started in May. So we have an opportunity now to start another committee, a fresh committee, which we should always start a new committee every year, and start it immediately. So if there's anybody out there in TV land that wants to be a part of the Pleasant Valley weekend, which is in September, now is the time to come forward. So how we can make this better? By having more cooperation early and start early, because that was a short period of time before we all that off.
I would recommend no floods as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Dave, I'd like to add that I think that you did more than the best you could with what you had. What I saw was you folks gave 110% to make this happen. And with what you had to work with, this old Marine was more than impressed. God bless you.
Thank you. And I'd say about half the committee were new people. We hadn't seen it. So part of what we were trying to do is groom new leaders too. And we've got people, we had a brand new publicity person, we had a brand new Mary stuff with the
Merchandise.
cornhole and merchandise and all the designs. And yeah, I mean, the nice part was we had enough budget that we could really entertain new ideas. We weren't so constrained. I know that's unusual, so we were a little bit spoiled. But I'm proud of the way we tried new things. We weren't afraid to say, no, that won't work. It's tried it 20 years ago, it didn't work. So I would encourage, to try new stuff and see what works and expand if it works. And if it doesn't, try something else.
Excellent. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Okay. So at this time, we'd like to open the meeting to the public for agenda items only. I know there's not a lot here to speak about, but by all means. So,
so moved?
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone?
This probably isn't an agenda item, but I would like to fix this thing, will you? I would like to, personally, I served on the, wait a minute.
That's better.
There we go. I served on the committee with Dave, and I don't think we can give enough credit to what he did, although I got really tired of his spreadsheets. But you really have to have somebody like him that kept us all focused and let us come up with ideas. You know, you can have a chairman that said, no, we haven't done that, we're not gonna do it. We come up with some crazy ideas, and they worked. And that credit goes to the chairman and to the general committee. I met a lot of people on that committee that I hadn't known, and I've been in Pleasant Valley too long. But I think the whole committee, all different personalities, really worked together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Amen.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Scott Larson, 74 Ring Road. As far as the salaries are concerned, they are what they are, but with the respect to the building department, I think it really needs to be looked over. I think $25 an hour for a building inspector is ridiculously low, especially when the assessor's getting $38 an hour.
So that's where it stands right now.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
necessarily mean that's going to be what it's going to be when we have something to offer.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's just something to mention that it's been on the agenda. Just some of these seem like,
No, I agree with you, Scott. I think if we
You know,
want to
there's other
have,
people
we
that are-
might need to bump it up a little if we want to have somebody that knows what they're doing and we can keep on.
yeah, especially at part-time. I mean, there's some other people here getting 23, 24, you look into it, and for what the building inspector really needs to do, that is not even worth getting out of bed for, in my perspective of it. That's it.
Appreciate it.
So I don't know, maybe combining, a couple of the building department tasks to make it full-time. I don't know.
So,
But the
just to
other,
give
the
you-
other issue is that having a part-time building inspector, if you want to pour concrete and you need a footing inspection, you got to dance around it. And luckily, we talked to the ex-building inspector, and he was like, well, when you need an inspection, give me 2 days and I'll be there. But that's not fair to inspector employee to go find other work, another part-time job, or so.
So just to give you a little history of that department. So at one point in time, we did have full-time, okay? And I'm not exactly sure as to when it went part-time, as to why. But since that point, it has been not exactly run as efficiently as it should. So there's a good possibility we go back that way.
Yeah.
And especially as this town is growing and how the needs may increase, we will certainly be considering that. So
Yeah,
thank you.
I don't even know if it needs to be like a dual,
Could be. There's-
just to fill in a full-time position.
Right now, there's
Or-
5 other towns looking for the same position.
Yeah. But just something to mention.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Hearing none,
I
I
move
move to close.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so, first order of business is authorizing payment of abstract number 1-AB of 2022.
Really quick discussion.
Oh, sorry. Oh, no, right, we're going to do this first. You're right. And I even said we're going to do this. I even mentioned. First thing we have to do is move on the agenda is move number 10 to number 1, which is, if you have not noticed already, we have another new face here sitting at the table. And this is Emily Svensson. I said it right? Okay. And she is now our new legal services. So the first thing we have to do is kind of like accept her in.
Yeah, I got it, it's here.
Do,
Number 10,
It's 10:42.
10:42.
are we going to do the discussion items first, or are we gonna go into the resolutions?
Let's do this one first, and then we'll come back to the discussion item. 10:42, all right, there it is. All right. Town Board Resolution Number 1042, 2022, appointing attorney to the town employing legal services. Whereas the town board wishes to retain counsel to provide general legal advice as the attorney to the town, and whereas separate attorneys have been retained as Labor Council's special prosecutor and Planning and Zoning Council, which services will not typically be among the duties of the attorney to the town. Now therefore it be resolved that the town board hereby appoints Gordon and Svensson, LLP, and Warren S. Raplansky, PC, to serve jointly as attorneys to the town for the period of January 10, 2022 through July 10, 2022. And be it further resolved that the town board does hereby designate Gordon and Svensson LLP and Warren S. Raplansky, PC, to serve as alternate special prosecutor for the vehicle and traffic offenses for the same period, to act as special prosecutor when the special prosecutor is unavailable or when conflicts arise. And be further resolved that the town supervisor is hereby authorized to execute an engagement agreement in the same or substantially the same from as annexed hereto.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who got that second? Michael?
I think it was Mary.
Ed,
It was a tie?
Tie,
yeah,
yeah.
tie.
Okay. Welcome to Pleasant Valley, and God bless you and good luck.
And may the Lord have
You're
mercy
gonna
on
need
your
it.
soul.
This might be the best one you ever attend, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Although our ratings have gone down recently, so. Okay. So let's go up to the discussion, which would approve the minutes from 1/5/22, the reorg meeting. Anybody have anything to say about our minutes? I thought they were quite accurate.
So, I have a question. Why do we approve minutes when we don't really have to? I mean, under Robert's rules, we don't, we're not required to approve minutes. What I'm getting at is, makes more sense if they just went on the website.
Well, it gives us a chance for additions, subtractions, corrections.
Yeah, but I don't-
think it
I don't-
hurts.
But I don't really think that we're allowed to, so they're the minutes are the clerk's minutes. We're not, we're not allowed to mess with her minutes in terms of changing them. They're her minutes.
I just think it's a matter of, we just give the kudos to the clerk that everything's done right.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
why not?
I'm
Why not?
just helping expedite things. That way it gets on the website soon.
Okay. In the future, I guess we're not gonna have to do this
Yeah, I think
as
it's
much, but it was a big meeting, and you did a good job getting it all done, and I think and it was all accurate, and that's
So,
great.
do you want us to approve them? I mean, I know, I'll make the motion, I read them, I make the motion to approve them, even though we don't have to.
I second. Any discussion more further? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay.
Do you want to have the discussion?
Yeah, so there are a couple items that we talked about, but we didn't get a we didn't get or I didn't, I don't know of one that changed. There was things we talked about in executive session that I don't think we addressed prior to us going into.
So when we get to those, we'll call it
Okay.
executive session, or we'll bring it to the end.
Okay.
So let's get rid of the
Uh,
business we have on
Did you want to do the fees under this new business now like we talked
new
about?
business. We'll do it on new business. At the end.
Oh, at the end, okay.
Okay, so let's take Resolution 1049-2022, which is it right? Did I just do 1020?
No, you did.
Okay,
1042.
that's right. Whereas the Town of Pleasant Valley Town Board has audited the bills presented by the town clerk, and an abstract has been compiled. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to pay all claims as follows for the year 2021. 1, abstract 1B of 2021 general fund claims, $28,837.84. 2, abstract 1B of 2021 highway fund claims, $20,875.20. 3, abstract 1B of 2021 street lights, $4,215.15. 4, abstract 1A of 2021 prepaid general of $2,236.42. 5, abstract 1A of 2022, prepaid general, $1,984.44. And 6, abstract 1A of 2022, library fund, $123,750.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 1050, 2022, authorizing payment of abstract number 1C of 2022. Whereas the Town of Pleasant Valley Town Board has audited the bills presented by the town clerk, and an abstract has been compiled. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to pay all claims as follows. 1, abstract 1C of 2022, general highway fund claims, $139,088.62. 2, abstract 1C of 2022, highway fund claims, $14,543.58. 3, abstract 1C of 2022, ambulance, $14,245.80.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 1051, 2022, authorizing payment of abstract number 1P of 2022. Whereas the Town of Pleasant Valley's Town Board has audited the bills presented for the consultant escrow fees as specified by Town Code 82-15, 98-91, except by the town clerk, and abstract has been compiled, and now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board hereby authorizes the town supervisor to pay all claims as follows. Abstract 1 of 2022, planning and zoning escrow invoices, $2,262.16.
So moved.
Second.
Mary 1. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution 1052, 2022, budget modification to 2021 general fund. Whereas the Town Board of Town Pleasant Valley has an expenditure and revenue for 2021 adopted budget line items that will adjust the amounts in such budget lines, and whereas the department head finds it necessary to amend the 2021 adopted budget to meet these adjustments, and resolved, the Town Board of Town Pleasant Valley hereby authorizes and empowers direct the bookkeeper and the town supervisor to modify the 2021 adopted budget as follows. Appropriation account number A6410-400, Department Publicity, is increased by $107. A9785, 700, installment interest payment, $1.60. Account A8160499, miscellaneous, $108.60.
So moved.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Town Board Resolution number 1016, 2022, establishing salaries for appointed positions and employees. Be it resolved that the salaries of all persons holding an appointed position and/or employed full-time or part-time in the Town of Pleasant Valley and is fixed there for their respective designated positions in the 2022 town budget shall be paid to the holder of such offices and positions and in accordance with the schedule annexed to hereto.
So moved.
Hey, all right, Keith
Second?
and Mike. So we got this corrected, correct? I believe we did. There was only a few that needed to be changed. And they were changed, right? Or
So,
did-
my question actually is not on this specific, well, I guess it is. It's more to the effect of, we tabled this, so don't we have to vote to untable it and then vote to approve it, instead of just motioning this motion?
Emily?
Yeah, so I guess I'll make a motion to untable Resolution 1016 of 2022.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So now, the two that made the motion should re-motion the motion.
Okay. Any discussion on the motions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Frank. Okay, Town Board Resolution number 1022, 2022. Be
Hold
res-
on.
Okay.
I'll make the motion that we untable,
Hold on,
we don't have to reread it.
we don't have to?
No, because we tabled it.
Right, we did table it, and we're gonna keep it tabled. Correct?
Oh, well, then there's no point in untabling it then, yeah, you're right.
So this one, we're gonna keep tabled until
For now,
further
for
notice.
now, yep,
Yes,
for now.
There's a couple of other things we have to take care of there.
Yeah.
Okay. Town Board Resolution 1027, this is some table, 2022, appointment of town photographer.
I'll
This
make
one,
the motion that we untable it.
untable it,
I
okay?
need a second.
Second, and all in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion that we amend the original resolution to change the name to Joseph Licari,
Okay,
because that's all you'd have to do.
second, and then he's,
We gotta vote on that.
okay, so we have to.
We have to vote on the amendment.
All right, so let me read it. Be resolved that the Town Board of Town Pleasant Valley does hereby appoint Joseph Licari to serve as the town photographer for the Town of Pleasant Valley for the year of 2022 for the annual stipend of $1,500.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Town Board Resolution 1032, 2022, appointment of
I
planning
think we
board.
could skip this one.
We tabled this one
This
as
is
well.
another tabled one, all right. that's-
Are we untabling?
Well,
We don't have anybody in there.
then,
Right, so-
then do we need a motion and a second to table, right?
That's
No,
tabled.
it's already
Oh, it
tabled.
is tabled.
It's
Okay.
tabled. Yep, once it's
Never
on,
mind.
it's tabled, it's.
Never
that's
mind.
Proverbial, it's always there.
Continued tabled. To be continued.
Yeah. I'll make a motion that we untable resolution 1039.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. This is my favorite one. Town Board Resolution number 1039, 2022, authorizing the engagement of Daniel P. Duthie
Yep.
Esquire to represent the town in PSC case 19T0684, New York Transco LLC, High Voltage Transmission Line, Article 7 proceeding. Be it resolved that the town board and the town of Pleasant Valley does hereby authorize the supervisor to enter into an engagement letter substantially in the form attached to retain the services of Daniel P. Duthie Esquire, contingent on award of intervenor funding to represent the town's interests in pending Article 7 proceeding initiated by New York Transco LLC, PSC case 19T0684, which seeks approval from the New York State Public Service Commission to build a high-voltage transmission line through the town to the present substation owned by Consolidated Edison Company of New York and Central Hudson Gas and Electric Corporation.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We did this one already. That's the contract, and I'm going to be signing that. Okay, Town Board Resolution 1046, 2022.
This one just was tabled as well.
On
but-
table it?
Well, we talked in executive session about throwing this in front of the attorney. And now that we have one, we should do that tonight, and then we could do whatever we want to do after executive session.
So you want to put this in executive session again?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so it's untabled to go into executive session?
It doesn't need to be untabled, it's a
Okay.
one.
Okay. Okay, well, we don't have this person either, so this might as well stay tabled until,
Which one, what are you looking at?
The-
This one?
grant right? No. Oh, no, this is the, this is the assessor's thing, right, this was fun. Town Board Resolution number 1048. Oh, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we just, we tabled it, wait, I motion to untable resolution
Right.
1048.
Second.
Okay.
I don't think this was tabled.
I don't think it was ever brought
I
up.
don't
Oh,
think
it was
this
never
was
done?
brought up.
I thought we tabled
This was
this.
the big bold,
Oh, this is what, I thought we tabled it because we had
No.
questions.
No,
no, we never put it on.
we never put, no, I haven't seen this
Okay,
one
so just to
before.
fill all you folks in, basically, this came in after the reorg, and it is something that came from the governor that we all are signing on to help our seniors.
Yep.
So I'll read it.
Yeah, go ahead. I
Which-
thought we tabled it, I apologize. Yeah, pursue, yeah. You don't have to do the whole top section.
Oh, thank you. Where would you
Yeah.
like me to start?
Now therefore be it resolved.
All right, so this is resolution directing the town assessor to grant senior citizen exemptions on the 2022 assessment roll in accordance with Executive Order Number 11.11. Now therefore it be resolved pursuant to the authority granted by Executive Order Number 11.1 issued by the Governor of New York State, the Town Board of the Town of Pleasant Valley hereby directs the Town Assessor of the Town of Pleasant Valley to grant exemptions on the 2022 assessment roll to all individuals who receive the senior exemption on the 2021 assessment roll, and all individuals who received the exemption on the 2021 assessment roll because they were recognized as a person with disabilities and limited income, thereby dispensing with the need for any such individuals to file renewal applications for such exemptions, except that the town assessor may, in his sole discretion, require a renewal application to be timely filed with his office if he has reason to believe that any such individual who qualified for the aforementioned exemption on the 2021 assessment roll may have since changed their primary residence, added another owner to the deed or for deed for the relevant property, transferred such property to the new owner, or died. If the town assessor requires such a renewal application be filed, he shall notify the owner of the subject property of such requirement by regular mail, which with such notice containing instructions on how to file the renewal application. Said renewal application may be returned by mail or by making an appointment to drop the same off at the town assessor's office.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion to open the meeting back to the public.
We want to talk about the discussion items?
Should we talk about the?
Do you want me to
Before we
make-
The
open
new
it-
business?
Yeah, before we open it to them for new business, should we talk about our new business first?
Yes.
So do you want me to make a motion to talk about them so everybody's okay, or just talk about them?
I think we just talk about new business. We can
Okay.
make a motion for it.
So I have two quick things, just to follow up on the workshop meeting, the building permit and planning and zoning fees. Last Friday, Supervisor Delvecchio, myself, the planning board chair, the zoning administrator, and Chris Ann and John Dunn all had a meeting to go through a recommended fee structure that had come out of the office about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. I think it went well. We really took a lot of the recommendations from the committee, from where they were recommending again. And all of you guys have two different things here. The first one that's horizontal like this. The far left column is really what this one's for. It's previous fees. That's where we were prior to adopting the current fees that we have now. But then if you look at the vertical one, this one has the in discussion that came out of that meeting. So basically, what I'd like to, I put this together Friday. My hope was that this would be out to the public, so then we could have the discussion tonight. But my hope from the board is that you guys will be okay putting this new in discussion fee structure out to the public so they can look at it and comment on it, and that we can just pass this and be done with this and move on to better things.
I totally agree. I sat in.
Absolutely.
And
I think it was very productive. I think everyone there really took everyone's opinion into consideration before they came up with anything. I was very, very happy with everybody's working together. It was great. So yeah, I think this is ready for the public to view, and I think it's time, we get it out there.
I just want to remind, because there's been some confusion because we've have so many people involved in this process now, so I feel like certain people are missing certain facts that are important, such as the fact that anything on here, if it's not on here, it means we're not changing it, it's staying what it currently is. So there's been some confusion within the town hall that certain fees are disappearing because they're not on here. That's not the case when you're looking this over. Whatever's on here is the recommended change. If it's not on here, it stays what it currently is.
Can I ask a question? Obviously, we're gonna get this out to the public for them to view and comment. So that's the first meeting in February, we'll hear the comments, so we are not gonna, I'm assuming then we're not gonna vote on it until the following meeting? Okay, so I understand the need to let everyone see these, but we've been talking about these fees since August now. I mean, like, part of me feels that we've beat the dead horse more times dead than we care to admit at this point. I almost think we should just vote and move on. It's my 2 cents, but.
I agree. I think we've had many discussions on this. We've had a committee. This thing should have been done a long time ago, all right? But I think we should at least let the people see it, let them have it.
I'm not disagreeing with letting me say it, I mean, at this point, part of me feels that we've been literally talking about this since August. Like,
Right.
this is we've made the biggest mountain out of a little molehill.
Yep. So,
Can we also, as a board, I don't know if we have to vote on this or not, but can we just go with what this in discussion is and put this out to the public and call this our final recommendation? So we can save time and not keep going back and forth with a bunch of outside people as well?
Yeah,
We
I'm
could-
okay with
we
that.
could certainly do
Because
that.
that's what's tying this up, is that we
Yeah.
have a whole bunch of people discussing these, and everybody has their own opinion of what it should be.
Right.
But at some
Yeah.
point, the 5 of us have to pull the trigger and accept
Yeah.
something.
right.
Yeah,
Yes, we do.
my other thought process is not necessarily just that, but maybe come up with the mock fee schedule. That way, it's clear and cut what we're gonna vote on. You know what I mean, like, so.
So what we do is we put the in discussion, which we have, the final, we'll put it out to the public so they can digest it and look at it. Let them have the say on our workshop, so they can have a chance to speak on it. And then if we feel that nothing really has swayed or done anything or changed anything, we could adopt them that night so they can move to resolution immediately. So we can adopt them right after that.
I gotcha.
So it's one more meeting.
I gotcha,
It's
okay.
one more step, and I think it's a good step.
Okay.
The other thing for discussion, just because we had tabled it at the reorg meeting, and I haven't really seen anything about it, the dog control, have we spoke to the SPCA about the contract or anything
So,
like that?
we
You
did,
beat
and
me to asking that.
Oh,
why did
sorry.
it make it
That's
here?
all right.
Okay, so I didn't know why it made it to but we did have it, and I'd like to give Mary Albrecht some kudos for doing some great work. She saved us, $4,000 in that contract renewal, right? About 4,000? So the contract is signed, so we had to do that, so we'll just put that on for next time.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll send you a copy of it.
That's why I asked to table it at the last meeting, because she put all that effort in. I
Right.
thought she made a great deal, and until I saw a contract, I didn't want to pass it.
Right. I don't know why I didn't make it on.
So should I'll make a motion? Are we done? Any
Well,
more?
let's make a motion to close the meeting to
Open the
to open the meeting to the
Yeah,
public.
that's what I was gonna do. I'll make a motion to open the meeting to the public for new business.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Evening, Tracy Santiago, Davis Road in Salt Point. I was a little confused at first because usually we do our, rec report on the town board meetings. I have since learned that we are adjusting that slightly. So I do have new business. Soccer registration will be opening for the spring season on January 24th. It is next Saturday. Are we here already? Are we like, January's over already? I just want to put out to the community that we are always looking for volunteers for coaches. You don't have to necessarily know anything about soccer at most of the age groups for recreational level soccer. Teaching kids to go that way is pretty easy. If you have any questions about the season, if you're interested in volunteering, if you have any ideas how we can make soccer better in this community, I'm always available. Sandy and Danielle are always available. You can reach us at the Recreation Office, 845-635-1111, extension 203, I think. Yes? Correct? Yes. And that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Tracy, do you put out on Facebook that you're looking for volunteers so you can all share that?
So we do. When I first started this, the town supervisor at the time was very against Facebook. So I have a Facebook group for soccer. I just need help with running it because once you let it loose, it's this living, breathing thing. So if anyone in the community would like to help me with the Facebook and mediating that would be great. We do put our registration openings and happenings on the PV Rec Facebook page. The ladies also forward it through there, and it ends up on all the mom groups. So it is worked out. Yeah.
I just haven't seen that. So that's
Not yet. We wait for it to go live. So if we were to start putting it out now and say on social media that it's the 24th, people would immediately go there and try to do it and then call us saying that they're having technical problems. So they're the people who get ahead of the horse, and then there are the people that like to ride the horse, and then there are people that live to pay late fees, like me. I love late fees. They're my favorite.
Tracy, just to fill you in on how we're going to be doing those reports from now on, they're going to be quarterly as opposed to every meeting.
Sure.
So it's going to be quite. and it's
Sure,
gonna be-
that's what
Yeah, I would hope that Sandra had filled you in on that, because
I don't keep office hours. I went there to prepare for today. We went over all of our spring stuff. And I said, it was funny because I hadn't seen I saw the agenda later on. Usually I keep an eye out for it. I would have, I'm sure, called her and she would have informed me that we're doing it
yeah,
new.
so we're going to be doing them quarterly, and it'll be done by department heads of each department. So we're going to have more than just rec and more than just the clerk. It's going to be the building department. It's going to be each department's going to have a report. So
Yep. I just know that I have soccer to do much
know.
more than 4 times a year. So I'll just come up for new business.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Priya Jain, 74 Ring Road. First, I want to thank you for working on the building permit fees. I'm excited that things are moving forward there. That's exciting. My other question was regarding the zoning administrator and that position. Last I remember, we were in town hall meeting, I think it was like sometime at the end of May, and that position was going to be posted. I think it was decided that Sarah Davis would take on that role. That role would end December 30th, and that would be renegotiated or redetermined. But that position was never posted, and I'm just wondering why.
Excuse me? At the reorg, she was approved.
Right, but that position was never posted. It was just kind of just reappointed. She was just reappointed, and my understanding was that because she was associated with Z3, that contract was ending at the end of December, and not during that time, but prior to that, she was. Yeah.
I would say that would probably be since Z3's exit. She has been working independently for the town.
Right,
So
Right.
she has nothing to do with them.
not anymore, but my understanding was that position would be reposted, and then we would be looking for a zoning administrator, and she was just sort of there in the interim and doing kind of us a favor by helping us along until we could find somebody new for that role.
I don't remember the reposting. I'd have to look back and see where that was, what meeting that was said at.
I think that, so if this is jogging some weird memory, that I think that we weren't, at the time, I believe we weren't sure that Sarah only wanted to stay, or was going to stay just temporarily to help us, that's what,
Yes.
and I think we were gonna post it.
Exactly.
And I think, so, going down that road of what I'm trying to remember from all of that, is then she was interested in staying, so we didn't post the job. But that's, I'd have to double check all those emails.
I mean, we weren't bound to repost it. It's kind of like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, I think that's debatable. It was pretty broken.
So I get that, and
We've
I
got-
appreciate your opinion. However, that department still is reeling from a lot of change and a lot of different things. So it's best not to make too many changes if they are to come at all. So right now, we're going to keep the ship running as smooth as we possibly can until we fill all the positions, and then evaluate that office.
Okay.
Thank you.
Scott Larson, 74 Ring Road. What was I gonna even say? Oh, just to be clear on the new building permit fees or that schedule that's gonna go out to the public, you were saying that there was gonna be, whatever's not on there is gonna stay the same? Is that as of January's new fees, or
That's as of what they currently are, so
as what they are from what?
from whenever we voted last year.
Last year,
yes.
yeah.
So, just to give you an idea.
I just want to be clear on, like,
Yeah,
you know, if something's admitted and then then all of a sudden
So, yeah,
it's there.
that's why I think it might be better if we actually publish a price list of what we're proposing.
So let
make
me
more
stop
sense.
everybody, hold on, relax. So, what we're going to do is post everything that was semi-decided on. Some of them may stay precisely the same. It may not have changed from the day one. We may have had these fees prior to Z3, during Z3, after Z3, and everyone agrees that they're fine where they are. So you'll see before, during, then also the committee recommendations that we and then what we settled on as a proposed settling.
On all,
You'll see
on all line items.
on all items.
So to
Okay,
give you
that's all.
some
I just wanted to,
just some background with the committee is when we met, we looked at the old fees, but we also looked at the current fees. So if the committee looked at something that we compared it to the current fees, if we were in line with all the other towns, then we didn't see any reason to suggest a change because we are where we're at. So that's why it wouldn't be on any of this stuff as a change, because we were in line with the other towns.
yeah, I was just wondering about like the roofing and windows and that kind of stuff. Because I
You'll
think
see
in-
all of
You'll
that.
see,
Yeah,
all-
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you'll see everything, I'm sorry.
I just want to be able to understand it when we see
Yeah,
it, or
you'll see it
that's
all.
all I'm asking. That's why I'm asking.
You can have a copy.
And then the Sarah Davis thing is a little disappointment. That's, you know, kind
Okay.
of the camel sticking the nose in the tent.
That
That's just my.
point's been made, thank you
Yeah,
very
yeah,
much.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so,
Hearing none,
anybody else?
I move to close the meeting to the public.
A second?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So I believe we want to move to executive session, correct?
Yes, 101, I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for 105.1F personnel.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
moment with that, so I'm good.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we come out of executive session at 9:09.
Second.
Okay.
Fight over that one?
Alrighty.
All in
All
favor?
in favor?
Aye.
No action taken in executive session. I'll make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.